Welcome to Hard Materials Pathway. Hard Materials is found in the Department of Applied Materials. We offer working environments with well-lit studios and purpose-built studios with designated clean desk spaces. This means that different activities that we have, there's different places that we can do it. And that just means that there's sort of breakout spaces and designated clean spaces, as well as these highly active workshops. We have spray rooms, kiln rooms, lathe rooms, hot glass workshops. So again, all of those have specific things that happen within them to industrial standards. We're process driven, and we work through experimentation, sampling and testing. And we're exploring things like scale and balance and ergonomics. And often actually these sort of experimentations are done with cardboard and paper and even found objects. And there's sort of it's an exciting time to explore and experiment, because it's sort of not feeling that you're using up sort of expensive resources like clay and glass. So a lot of experimentation can happen through this early stage. We learn through a series of skills and processes related to lots of hard materials that we work with. And mold making and fabrication are actually shared by all who work in hard materials. And there's sort of shared knowledge, as well as them working for specific materials. Form and surface are sort of key things that students gravitate towards working with. And that idea of this sort of very beautiful, looks very simple form, but then the wonderful intrinsic little details on top of that. So marrying the two together, the surface and the form. Coloration, learning about glazes, the recipes and all the ingredients, and testing of how to actually work with color, and then how to sort of build textures and qualities within that. We look to things of working in the specialized area of lamp work, in glass work. So this is about sort of smaller scale, quite fragile pieces, but actually students have really honed skills with working with this technique. Or pet de verre is another technique that students are able to sort of perfect and really hone. Or taking the traditional throne technique, that idea of sort of the pot worked on a wheel, but in this case, looking at sort of a massive scale. So that's sort of seeing it in a contemporary way. But often in hard materials, it is coming with that tradition of making beautiful objects, and that skill and craftsmanship that really drives students. So here's sort of other examples: work through glass, and it was ceramics, more glass. But it's taking those traditional hand techniques of maybe hand building and working with 3D printing and rhino. And our students are very interested in that marriage of traditional as well as digital processes. So this is that idea of the new technologies with the traditional. These were 3D printed, as well as hand-thrown clay work, or that mixture of rhino and 3D printing through this work. Students have often brought their work to sort of product design, where they might be making for domestic tableware, or that they're looking to lighting outcomes. But there's shared processes, even though we're using different materials. So in this case, there's plaster and mold making, but it's also working with metal and found objects. And the same with this student, it's glass and working with copper. Or this student who's used a lot of processes and materials with mirrored glass, plaster, cement, and LED lighting. But often also, it's not just about making beautiful objects. And for the gallery, we look at social issues. And these were little ceramic spoons, but it was looking at the idea of refugees in flight and their plight. Or the 1 in 4, very sensitive issue in Ireland. And this student was using glass and clay to work through this theme. or male suicide, where the student made ceramic pots and then broke up his own forms to make then this installation big piece with there's sort of bandages worked in with it and wire. Or wire and plaster in this work that was referencing Alzheimer's. But often we tend to sort of think that glass and ceramic are sort of small scale work or very precious work, but students have taken it into big public spaces. And that idea that you're having to work in teams, you work with architects and engineers, as well as those who make the glass. Sculpture and context is very popular through students who work in hard materials because it's that idea of bringing it into public spaces, outdoor contexts. And mixing other elements in with the work. In this case, this work was dealing with sound and video, and it was interactive. So all of that through the glass medium. And often, yes, as I was sort of saying before, there's sort of gallery and installation work, but in the making of bringing together a team to make the work can have very interesting outcomes. So again, that collaborative of team making for a gallery context. So within hard materials, a student has an affinity with materials and processes. They have a passion for making. They have interest in form and in the three-dimensional. They like perfecting skills and really developing the craftsmanship in what they make, and they're driven with a passion. I welcome and would invite you to consider hard materials. If you have any questions or queries, please do contact me, and I look forward to meeting you in the future. Thank you.